this when you do that? What is that? For what? For balance? Okay, let's talk about the fingers for a moment. So, when you practice in real life, you always want to hit the fingers. The fingers are the easiest thing to hit, the lead fingers. Those are the easiest things to hit. So you have to be very conscious of that. If you're always wearing gloves, and I see some of these schools, they have on these big mittens, and this is not the way you practice. You practice with little tiny gloves, little bit of exposure, softer wood, and somebody that you practice with isn't going to hit you hard on the fingers, but they will hit you a little bit, okay? So you have to be aware of that. So in real life, boom, you want to hit the fingers right away. That's the easiest target. So you have to know how to hold your stick. So when you're fighting with somebody and you're getting close, like this, don't always have your fingers around the stick, okay? When you hit, boom, okay. But until then, you try to keep your fingers like this. You can hold the stick. No matter how heavy it is, you can hold it. Whether it's hardwood or steel, you can hold it. It'll grip. So when you're fighting with somebody in close, always like boom, leave it open. So if the stick comes across, it's not gonna hurt. It'll hurt if they do. It'll sting. It won't really hurt. But if you do like this and they wrap you on the fingers, they break them all. Okay? So the fingers are the #1 target. Okay? So learn how to hold your stick, regardless of which way you're doing it. Right? Right? And this will save you. Okay? That's it. We're going to do bamboo staff #1, short. I'll do it slow, and then explain some of it after that. So this is a soft, flexible staff. We call all the staffs. They're made out of wood, they're steel, we call them bamboo. It's just the term we use. So this is very flexible, it's all fiber. It's a little too small in diameter. A good diameter, if you can find it, is about 1 1/4 inch. You can find them much bigger, and you can try to find a place that will mill them down for you. So the height of your bamboo staff is your height plus this high. That's how high your staff should be. That's just a standard size. Staff can be shorter or longer, but that's the size that we use. This staff is good for sparring. So when you hit somebody, you might bruise them or even cut them, but you won't break any bones. Okay? No bones. This is not what we use when we practice every day. When we practice every day, we use a heavier piece of hardwood, a hardwood that's 1 1/4 inch, 1.25 inches in diameter. Okay, and the height is the same. Okay, so when we do the form, I'll explain a few things to you. We kick it out. This is a block. Somebody's trying to hit you in the head. So you move your head over and we use the staff. They strike, it deflects off. So this is defend, strike, boom. Okay, move to the back. Strike. Okay. So this, okay, strike, and this, the target is, you miss them or something and it's moving towards you, you move away from him. Your intention is to hit him in the head or somewhere down up to the foot, down to the foot. So here, elbow lock, turn, come straight down. Up, turn. You want to keep your hips straight, or square. You want your hips to be not this. See, this is not square. The power you want to come from the hips. In order to get all your power, use your kilos. Don't use this. This is nothing. The overhand, okay. We lock the elbow, step out, stay low, don't go up high, stay low. Keep it. Use the momentum, goes out, over, bring it down. Turn. Okay, after this, so this is also a block. So besides the person here, this could be a person here. So this is a block. Somebody's trying to hit you. Boom. Okay? So this could be boom. Okay? So right now in the form we do this. And then this could also be another block. This could be a block. Like this. Everything has a purpose. There's no wasted movements. So here, here, here. Then let's do it again. On the elbow. Okay. Stay a little low. straight up, straight down. So when you lock the elbow, keep it locked until you strike. So here, like, and as soon as you strike, relax the elbow. If you don't relax the elbow as soon as you strike, the vibration, especially when you're using hardwood or steel, the vibration will come up into your elbow and you can injure yourself. So everything is straight until here. And you slightly bend it. Okay? So normally we use this for demonstration and for sparring. We use the hardwood, which you'll see in there's a companion video clip that shows all the staffs and the spears. It explains it in that. So this video is for students that already know what I'm talking about. It's not for beginners. Okay? So I think that does it on that form. There, you get over here. Move up, 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 move up, up some more. Just one arm around. Up, up, up. Okay. Ready? Slow. Fast. So move up. Go over one step this way. This way. Okay, here we go. Go. Go to the okay. Okay. Okay, I think that's better. Okay, this is Bamboo-staff number 1, long. It's the same as the short version, a couple of variations, and there's more footwork, more steps, longer steps, bigger steps. Okay? All right. One thing to point out, in the beginning, in form number, the short form, we do this. So, if somebody's trying to hit us in the head with a bamboo, we're just moving our head. They strike us here, okay, boom, and then we strike. In the second form, we move out of the way 100%. So we move, they strike here, then we strike, boom, around, strike, or poke strike, okay? The steps are longer, and there's more of them. As an example for longer, when we do the overhead, we take a long step, another long step, okay, you see? Long steps, and then you come up. We also bend over, so our bends are the only other difference, is there another difference? Let's see. No, I think that's it. There's not really much difference. There's just more steps. So in the first form, it's this. Okay. Second form. Okay, more steps. First form. First form, stay here, turn. The second form, 1, 2, back, third step back. We stick our foot out, turn, strike. Okay? That should do it. I think that's a keeper. Bamboo staff number 1, long. Okay. Okay, we're going to do the bamboo staff number 1 long with the wood. be slow enough. All right, I'm going to talk a little bit about the bamboo staffs and double spears, so you know what we play with. Okay, so the first one, this is very flexible. This is all fiber. So this is, we're in Thailand, so you can buy this in Thailand. I don't know if you can buy it anywhere else. It's a little heavier and denser than rattan. Rattan is very light. And this is a little too light. It should be a bigger diameter. If you can find it. If you can find a 1 1/4 inch, I think that's 3 centimeters. 1 1/4 inch. 1, 2, 3, yeah. So that's about 3 centimeters in diameter. That's a good, and it'll give you a good weight. But this is a little too light. But we use this to practice, something like this to practice. When you spar with each other, when you do freestyle with each other, because first it might bruise you, but it will not break your bones. Okay, it will take out your eye, so you have to be careful. The height on staffs that you're going to play with should be your height plus your hand. So this height here, that's the proper height. Okay? You can have it any height you want, but this is a standard, we'll call it a standard height. Okay? And this is what that is for. Okay? When I do my demonstrations in the video clips, I always use this, because when you do this, you can use more power when you hit. You can use more power. You can't do it with the other staffs. This is another practice. We call them bamboo. Oop, wrong one. Okay, so we call them. We just call them bamboo staffs. It's just sort of a generic thing that we do. We just call it a bamboo staff. They're not bamboo. It's very hard to find good bamboo. Very, very difficult. And we live in the tropics. We tried. So again, this is we use for everyday practice when you do the forms. It's hardwood, a solid hardwood, not semi-hardwood. This particular wood in Thailand is called my dang. Again, the height is this height. Okay, wears down after a while, but this height, and this is 1 1/4 inch, 1.25 inch, or 3 centimeters in diameter. So that gives it a good weight. It's a very nice weight. Okay, and this is what we play with when you practice every day. We don't use it when we're sparring unless you've choreographed what you're going to do. It just takes one mistake, one misjudgment on distance, and you can break somebody's bone, break their head. You can cause damage, so you have to choreograph. We use the soft one for freestyle, so you hit somebody and nobody cares. If you're going to do something like this and spar with each other, have a helmet. We use motorcycle helmets, just cheap motorcycle helmets, and we take off the visor, tighten up the chin. They work fine. They're very inexpensive, you know, less than $25. You know, you just need something cheap, but something that covers the whole head, okay, the whole face and chin. Take off the visor. And then for glasses, we just get clear plastic, some kind of goggles or glasses in case somebody pokes you in the eye. So you've got to be careful. If you're okay, this is stainless steel. So this is the real deal. This is what you would play with in serious competition. Okay? So this is not much heavier than the solid hardwood. Again, this is the proper height. Okay, this height should be about the same. Okay. I'm 5'8". 5 feet 8 inches, or 173 centimeters. That's how tall I am. Okay. So if you're going to get stainless steel, this is 1 inch in diameter. You don't want anything bigger. 1 inch is fine, but it's 1 inch in diameter. But what you want is the heavier gauge, and by that I mean it's hollow inside, right? The tube is hollow, but the outside, the rim, is thick. So you can get them very thin, and they don't weigh anything. And you want the heavier gauge. We call it gauge. You want the heavier thickness. The heavier the thickness, the better. Okay? Don't get the thinnest thickness, because it just won't work. The reason we don't practice with this when we're doing the forms, and we're, you know, like for demonstration for forms and the hardwood also, is that when you strike hard and you happen to be on pavement like this, the wood it might break, right? If you go full force. And with this, if you go full force on pavement, not if you're on the earth, if you're on grass, fine, but if you're on pavement, if you go full force, you'll eventually bend this. And then what are you going to do? You can't, it's difficult to bend it back. So this is, you do play with this, okay, but it's better something like this on the earth, on the grass. The wood, we do a lot here. The wood is pretty resilient, and we just have to control the blows. You can't go full force when you hit the ground. Okay, so that's the bamboo staffs that we call bamboo staffs. Those are your 3. Now about the spears. So for double spear, you see that? We use this. This is for everyday practice. So this again is solid hardwood, not semi-hardwood. This is also 1 1/4 inch, 1.25 inch, or 3 centimeters in diameter. And this is 2 meters, 2 meters high. That's how tall that is. So I'm 5'8". This is what 2 meters looks like. Okay, this is a good practice size. It's nice and heavy. It's got good weight, and you don't have to worry about breaking it, because when you practice with spears, you're not striking the ground. Okay, you don't strike the ground at all. So this is what we use for everyday practice. Okay, this is better to do this, especially if you're in public. You know, people might get nervous, and especially little kids, if you don't see them, they'll run up to you. They think, oh, it's wonderful, wonderful, and then there might be an accident, so you got to be careful. So that's that. Okay, can you see that? Okay, so this is the double spear. The diameter is a little smaller. This is 1 1/8 inch. 1.18 inch. 1 1/8 inch. Little smaller diameter. These we had made in just the village. The blacksmith in the village made these for us. Okay, not bad. You know, just didn't cost very much money, you know, 20 bucks or something for one of these. Okay, and these we screw in because we're not going to take them out. So one thing to keep in mind is that when you're making a spear head, okay, when you're making a spear head, that you don't want it razor sharp. Okay, there's really no reason to be razor sharp. Because first, if it's razor sharp, it'll chip. It'll chip, 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 chip. And you don't need a point like they do in the movies, okay? You see, that's not a point. But this will penetrate you, no problemo, okay? So it'll last longer, especially if you're sparring with somebody. And if you're going to spar with somebody, of course, you wear a helmet. Not much you can do about this. You just have to be able to judge distance. So normally the way we were trained here is that you practice with the bamboo staff for 3 years before you're allowed to use the spears, double spear. And the reason for that is judging distance. You have to be able to judge distance. This is very, very dangerous. So if you're off even a half an inch and that's it, you tear somebody's throat out. So you have to be able to judge distance if you're going to play with each other. You have to trust that other person. If you have doubts about that other person, don't do it. Don't do it. Okay, that's all there is to that. So this is just wood. Okay, it's fine. It's not a heavy weight or anything. It's a good weight, but it's a good practice. And the size is up to you. Okay? This can be longer, this can be shorter. Okay? That's up to you. Okay, this is the real thing. This is stainless steel. 100% stainless steel. So these can be as long or as short as you would like them. So you can have them, this particular one is 2 meters, but it can be 3 meters if that's what you want. Okay? So this is, again, this is the same 1 inch diameter. This is the same gauge as the one we use in the bamboo staff forms. So this has been drilled. Not drilled, what's that word? Okay, so this bit was pretty thick. I think it was 2 centimeters or millimeters. 2 or 3 millimeters, I forget. Okay? And this is the spear head. Again, you'll see it's rounded. I don't know what you can see here, but the edges are rounded. Okay? This is 670 grams. So when you have this made, it's made from one solid piece of stainless steel that's 2 inches in diameter. So it's one solid piece that's 2 inches in diameter, and what is this? Is approximately 10 inches, approximately 10 inches long. So it's a big heavy piece of solid stainless steel, and that's what you would do. So if you're watching this video clip, you probably have the blueprints to this stuff. Okay? Make sure the tang is long enough. You don't want a short one. You don't want to be swinging these things around and this fly off. You can really hurt somebody. So make sure the tang is long enough. And then it just screws in. So one thing to keep in mind if you're going to play with this, either by yourself or with friends or whatever you're doing, okay, is that these were made at a local shop. They had never made any before, and they did a pretty good job. I think they did a pretty good job. But if you tighten this all the way, it might not be. See? This is flat, this is off center. So what you want to do is you take one end like this, and you want it to be the same angle. Then you'll have to bring this back like this, so they're both the same, and get a piece of duct tape, good old-fashioned duct tape, and just put a small piece of duct tape on there and on both ends so they don't unscrew. But they're pretty solid. It takes a lot to unscrew them. So this is what we use. All right? This is quite heavy. So when you're doing any of the forms, any of the bamboo forms or the double spear forms, even if you do sword forms, you have to use your waist. You have to use your hips. That's where the power is. If you just try to use your arms all the time, they're just going to fall off. And for those macho assholes out there who have these big muscles and they want to use their arms, and it does look good, and they are quick, there's no art for them. They're not practicing any art. The art is in the hips. So you can be a small person like myself, use something heavy like this, and it's good. I can handle it. It's no problem. I'm not relying on my shoulder muscles. So I think that's about it. That should do it. Good luck out there, people. Okay, I just want to clarify the dimensions of the stainless steel. So in the other couple of small clips, when I talk about the stainless steel, I misspoke. I didn't speak correctly. I said centimeters when I meant millimeters, and I said 2 and 3 millimeters when I meant 2 millimeters. So the stainless steel, regardless of how short or how tall, is 1 inch in diameter. So this is 1 inch in diameter. It's hollow tubing, and the gauge, the thickness around here is 2 millimeters. And that's enough for the shop to be able to drill and make the threading. Okay? So that's what I wanted to clarify. That's it. Okay, this is a simple exercise. It's just exercise. So this is for building up the wrists and always getting you to get in the habit of staying in contact with your staff. Okay, first exercise. First thing, always start on the same side with the same motion, whichever side you're going to start, left or right. And that way you don't get confused as you're moving along, wondering, gee, did I do this side or not? So for me, I start with the right. This is my right, and I always start going out. So here's the first exercise. Stay in touch with the stick. The stick stays in touch with your hand. It rolls over the top of your hand, and then you catch it, okay? Rolls over the top of your hand, and then you catch it. Rolls over the top of your hand, and then you catch it. So don't spin it around and try to catch it. You want to stay in touch with the stick. Then you move to the other hand, the same thing, move to the outside. The stick stays in touch with your hand, with your skin, okay? All these exercises you would do for 3 minutes. You work your way up to 3 minutes for each exercise. Now, you go to the inside. So now my stick is going to the inside. Okay, 3 minutes. Other side. Now my stick goes into the inside on this side. Oop, 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 oop. Okay, you do that for 3 minutes. Next, this one. Fingers are like this. Okay. On the side. Okay. You do this for 3 minutes, but half of the way through you change. We're one up, one down. Okay. Try to keep the stick still in one position as much as you can, and go as quickly as you can. Okay. Okay. Next is the twirling. Again, I start going to the outside first. So those first couple of exercises prepare you for this. Keep the stick moving. Your hands stay right in front of you. You don't move your hands. You don't do this. Okay, you're not doing any of this stuff. Your hands are right here. They stay there, and you're using your wrist to keep the stick turning. The momentum of the stick along with your wrist. So this is how you build up your wrist. This side, 3 minutes, then you go the other direction. Okay. Keep your hands in the center. Always keep your hands in the center. You hand off to the other hand and it becomes, it's in the center. Okay, everything stays in the center. Okay, next. Okay, this is easy enough. Here, use your hips. Turn your hips, not your arms. Okay, turn your hips. Turn your hip. Turn your hip. Turn your hip. And your hand is in front. So it should look like this. Like this. Not like this. Not that. Okay? Other thing, you want to keep a line. Keep the stick straight. When you go to the back, keep it as straight as possible. Okay? Should look something like this. And then in the front, see, that should be up and down plane. They should look up and down. Okay? Then you do the other hand, same thing. Use your hips, move the hips, move the hips, move the hip. Okay? After that, then we do you do this. Okay? From the side, we're trying to keep the stick straight. So the stick is straight. It's not out like this, moving around. Okay, that's 3 minutes. From the back, it looks like this. Okay, that's 3 minutes. Next is the overhead pass. So I start on my right. My overhead pass will be to the right. Okay? So you're here, your hand's in the center. You replace this hand with this hand, so it's now in the center. Okay? So as you haven't done this before, just go slowly, come here, and just pass on top, just pass one to the other, okay? And then continue. And then once you get used to what you're doing, you just pass it overhead. Just pass it overhead. Okay? And you do the other direction, passing to the left. You do that for 3 minutes. So from the side, you try to keep the stick, the staff, see how straight that you want that plane. See, that plane. You pass, comes up, grab it here, okay, come down, you still have that straight plane. All right? That's what you, as much as possible, you want to keep that straight. Okay. Okay, so that's it. Each one of those, 3 minutes each one. You build up to it. Start out with 2 minutes and build up to 3 minutes each one. And what happens over time is that your shoulders get a real good workout, your wrists get a real good workout, and you stay in constant touch with your stick. So when you're playing your forms, okay, almost never will you lose your stick. Your hands will keep it. That's the idea anyway. Okay. There we go. Thank you.